Moving on to number 13, reports and communications, beginning with Councilmember Cardoza.
Yes, Mayor. I have a couple this week. Start off, had a Regional Housing Authority meeting, and great things are happening in our community. 2 weeks ago, we broke ground on the New Haven apartment complex for the homeless and seniors in the service to help them. So they're moving dirt, making great leeway. Foundation work should start here very shortly. It's great things. If you want to see it, please go by Garden Highway and Miles Drive. And it's great things happen in our community. We're very happy and want to see great things happen for the homeless, and especially our vets in the community. Second thing, I helped out Friday. Did some volunteer work on the emergency food drive, filling up the Yuba City food pantries. This was helped out with the 4G Foundation, the Yuba City United Way, the Sutter COVID-19 Relief Task Force, our chamber leadership team, and Say Love. We grand total at the end of the day was $35,000 in donations and 50,000 pounds worth of food into our food pantries for our Yuba Sutter community. So that was great, and there's still more food and donations coming in as we speak. So I really want to thank the community. That's both Yuba and Sutter County, City of Marysville, or the Marysville community, and Yuba City for everybody coming over making those donations to help the seniors and the folks that don't have food to have dinner and lunch and for their families. And it should take us way past Christmas and hopefully into the new year. So that's great things. And then on closing, I just want to mention to the citizens of the community of Yuba City that this stay at home and not be able to do things, I know that kind of sucks. It's been a month. I know there's a lot of folks that want to go to the beauticians. There's a lot of folks that want to go out in public and have fun. We've run into the hard part of this. If you could please stay patient. There's just a couple more weeks for the governor to make a decision to see if we can get past this and start opening up our communities, counties, and the state. The city of Yuba City is working hard with our counties and also our state representatives. We're trying to get past this. If you could just please be patient, we will all get through this together, and we'll have better things in the future and great things for our community to come. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Espandola.
Thank you. I have to follow Councilman Cardoza. Well done. So the last meeting that I attended officially for the city is the Sutter Buttes flood control. And it was the first time that we also did a video conferencing and call-in. So it was an interesting process, and we managed to get through it. The major takeaway that I would like to share is that we are reviewing budgets in the next few months, and I will report more on those activities. Also, I had brought up in our last city council meeting a couple of ideas and projects in reference to coordinating a message with our faith-based leaders and a video. And I'd like to give a quick update on those two. I worked actually 3 items, the messaging for faith-based, the flyer resource for businesses, and a potential video that we're working on. So I worked with George Barlin, one of our staff from the city, along with our city manager and some local community members to frame a message that was then forward to various faith-based leaders to help affirm some of the same things that Councilman Cardoza just mentioned in his sharing about, stay at home, washing your hands, social distancing. And I like to report that of the 20 I think we have on the list, we had about 70% participated in this message that was carried forward on the behalf of the entire council. So that was a really good thing that we were able to do right before Easter weekend, those that practice Easter. And the second thing is that we worked with the chamber. Marnie and I worked with putting together a list of different resources, a flyer with our business team, Maddie and Spencer, to distribute a flyer of information through our system. We utilized the existing list that we have of a business license and sent this information through that system. And we reached out to over 2,800 businesses that are registered with us here at the city. I confirmed with many people who own businesses that contacted me to say, hey, I received the information from the city on the flyer, which covered information of the CARES Act loans through Small Business Association and additional local resources through the chamber, through EDC, through us, and EDD. So that was another project that we completed. The third project that the mayor and I are working on with George Farland and our city manager as well is a video, and we'll give more information as we finish that project and move it forward. I met with Yuba County Robert Bendorf and our Dr. Lou health officer, and sat down and had a conversation, you know, social distance with masks on and everything. In particular, asking questions about when are we potentially going to open? What are the plans for these things? What does it look like? How are things progressing? You know, not having had that opportunity to sit down and talk directly with her. I learned quite a bit by going over to the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, all the different divisions that are by counties, Sutter County, Yuba County, are handling through the CAOs and public health. The main thing that I was asking is, you know, about testing, about tracing and treatment. Where are we at with these areas? Are we prepared in the sense of as we move towards her order expiring on May 3rd, and also the messaging about how we can do a better job, because at that time some of the numbers were increasing with COVID-19 positives in our community, and sharing that message with our faith-based leaders. And you saw some of her response to that in some of the videos. And so I just want to reiterate and support what Councilman Cardoso, and I'm sure my fellow council members who haven't had a chance to speak yet will share in impressing on you the great work that we've done so far. And there's great work to be done still in reference to our health of our community. And it is really important on my aspect of how I make decisions is that I listen closely to our county health officer. It's really important because the information that she is skilled and an expert will guide my decisions as I move forward and finding how, as a city, we work towards reopening. The things that I'm hoping to learn from the health experts is, you know, hoping that we don't get to a place where opening too soon, you might end up doing more harm. And those conversations, we do have that within our council and within our partners, Sutter County and Yuba County, and state legislators and the governor's office as well. I have had many conversations with many individuals in those capacities. So let's keep up doing the great work, community. You've done an amazing job. the hardship is very challenging for all of us. And I definitely want to make those right decisions. And I think that counting on what the state health officers and the local county health officers are important to recognize their expertise, and these orders are important to follow through. So with that, I am done with my report. Thank you.
And thank you and welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Only one of my committees that I'm on, the Transit Authority, we did not meet, but we've been getting regular updates. And those updates, they are continuing with their safe practices, with the reduced routes, the rear entrances of the bus. So they're operating in their fashion to make sure that they are in compliance with the directives and the orders that's been issued by the governor and our local health officer, Dr. Liu. I'd like to shift my focus momentarily to say thank you. And we have been through some incredible times the last several months. And with that, I want to say thank you to Dr. Liu and Robert Bendorf and Steve Smith and all the other leaders. I too, a couple of weeks ago, have been over to the EOC, met with them, saw the hard work that they're putting in. And to be honest with you, I think it's a lot of the hard work that they made some tough decisions that helped us get ahead of this locally. And I do want to acknowledge that and say thank you, because I think that's why the numbers are as low as they are. With that, the two greatest assets that we have here are our 68,000 plus residents that call Yuba City home, and the 300 plus families that are part of the Yuba City team. And just want to know that every decision we make, we have to take those into consideration, because they are paramount to the success of our city in the future. Because without our residents, we're not a city. And without our team that provides the services, we can't meet the needs of our residents. So first of all, thank you all for all the hard work you've done, the sacrifices you've made. And I look forward to coming out of this on the backside, because as I said earlier, we've got to be the type of people that say, even if, what are we going to do? Even if this, what are we going to do? And, you know, even if we're faced with challenges ahead of us, I really do think that it's time that we start looking at this through multiple lenses. And I completely respect the medical community. And again, thank you, Dr. Liu, for the things you've done. But we have to start looking at not only the medical impact, but also the economic impact, the social impact, the psychological impact that has on our residents. And we have already got the three committees that are working on the reopening. And I spent some time today with Assemblyman Gallagher, talking with him about this and the letter that is being coordinated to go forward. And I fully support their effort to do as the president has said, and even our governor has said, to bring this back down to local controls, because our community is not San Francisco, Santa Cruz, San Jose, Los Angeles. We're even vastly different from Sacramento, who's less than 50 miles away to the south. I think that we have to do things in an orderly fashion, and I think we need to do things in a way that we can get some wins for our residents, some wins for our community, but do it in a safe manner. And we've got some challenges ahead of us, and we're going to have to move back and forth as we see how the numbers come out. Public safety is paramount, but at some point we have to look at what else other than physical health is going on to our community. And I applaud Assemblyman Gallagher and Senator Nielsen for taking the lead on this and going to the governor, following our chains. I look forward to the governor's response, and hopefully he will do exactly what the president said and what he has said, and return the control back down to the local areas, because we know our community best. And we will look at that through the eyes of the people that's been put in office, the 5 of us, the 5 supervisors, and our health officer. we need to look at it through multiple lenses to make the best decision for our community. So with that, thank you again. Thank you to all of our residents. Thank you to our entire team of families that are employed by the city. Know that you guys are at the top of everything that we think about is those two groups, because we have to have you both. And we got some tough decisions, Mr. Mayor, but we shall get through this. And even if we're throwing a few curveballs, we will get through this. So stay encouraged and remember to tell people thank you, because we can build a whole lot of confidence on what our future is going to look like when we come out of this on the backside.
All right, very well said. Thank you, Dave. Vice Mayor Boongarden, sorry.
Why, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Nice words, Councilwoman Espandola, Councilman Cardoza, and Councilman Shaw. I too do not want to be too redundant, but I think it goes, I need to make sure that we thank the folks that are working hard, some of them behind the scenes, some of them right out in front, city staff, county, those in the bi-county EOC, Dr. Lou, all working tirelessly to try to navigate us through this this pandemic. Today, another day without an increase in the cases, another day without an increase in the deceased, and another day without an increase in those hospitalized. I think the track record for the community continues to be really, really good, and that's attributable, of course, to the efforts that our citizens are making for social distancing, masking up, et cetera, et cetera. I do think that it's important to also acknowledge Assemblyman Gallagher and his team. I was communicating with them right before the meeting. They are putting a letter of support with multiple signatures for the governor to consider locally, giving the local ability to lift restrictions. And I think returning some of those decisions to those that are closest to the issue and to the pandemic is a strong move in the right direction. I support the regional effort by the governor, and I hope that that letter, which I understand from his office, the Assemblyman Gallagher's office, could be delivered as soon as a couple days, actually gets the ball moving. I want to go on record as supportive of implementing a phased-in lifting of the restrictions as soon as possible, and hopefully before May the 3rd. I think I don't have a PhD behind my name or a doctor or anything else, but the statistics seem to certainly indicate that that consideration of lifting restrictions and getting those things that Councilman Shaw talked about, our economy, our citizens' mental health, the social issues, taking some of the burden off our police and fire who are responding to COVID-related incidents on a daily basis. I think it makes sense. And I hope that I hope the governor sees the wisdom in returning some of those decisions in a phased method to the locals. I want to thank the council. We have been meeting weekly. I want to thank the city staff for providing us with the financial information that they're providing to us so that we are understanding of what's going to be a challenge in front of us. And I would close by just saying citizens of Yuba City and of course their guests need to know that this city council is engaged and paying attention. And even though it sometimes looks like we're not doing something, in many cases we do not have the ability to do some of the things you'd like us to do, but that doesn't mean we haven't got an interest and we aren't working in the background to push forward. With that, Mayor, I'd like to thank you and thank each one of the council people that I work with, and I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You know, one of the bad parts about going last is the risk of being redundant, but all the thank yous and the perspectives you folks provide, I could not agree more. And it's important to recognize this is, of course, unprecedented. Some of the things I can't even imagine. I try to, in an effort to empathize with some folks may be going to, our business owners, some of our residents here. I've got an email from more than one person who says, you know what, I've lost my job, I've got 2 kids, I can't make my rent what do I do, Mr. Mayor? And to get that kind of an email, will really choke you up. Things are really tough for a lot of people. And yes, we are, I think we're engaged, we're doing our job. We have a wonderful staff who all have a very positive attitude. We have a great folks who work for the city doing their thing out there every day, doing whatever they can. And I also, want to make an effort of applauding Assemblyman Gallagher, Senator Nielsen, the efforts they've done, all of our local leaders who have taken the initiative to step up and express our cumulative opinion to the governor, or to request that we have some local control. I think it is time for that. Down there in this state capital, you're only as strong as your weakest link. We have LA with San Francisco Bay Area where we have to have some statewide regulations that recognize the importance of the tragic circumstances those folks are in. We are not LA. And that's in fact one of the things we're proud of, is we are not LA. And I think that we have an opportunity here to request to have some local control. We don't want to tell anybody to do their job. And like, as you said, Vice Mayor, I too do not have a PhD behind my name or MD behind my name, but among those circles, you have the continuum, obviously right thing to do, obviously wrong thing to do. In the middle is where your options lie. And those with the PhDs and MDs and those folks make their decisions. All we are simply asking is that within that overlap, that they please consider or lean towards the option of getting us open, get our businesses back to where they are. And every business owner I've talked to, a few have texted me tonight, they are more than willing to take any precaution necessary in order to make that happen. And I trust them in that. And I also trust our community that they would abide by that. I think it's time. I think it's ready. Dr. Lou had mentioned one time to go through 2 incubation cycles. For example, for the reason if someone happens to catch it on day number 13, we won't know they have it until the end of the second cycle. So that makes sense to me, as long as the numbers are tamped down. And guess what? They are tamped down because the regulations and the orders we put in place. I think our community has proven that we're able to abide by that. I think it's time. I definitely support the notion to extend it out to local control. I want to just acknowledge and thank our entire community, all of our residents, our business owners and folks out there. We are making some really tough changes. And I think our new normal, much like post 9/11, never got quite back to the way it was on, in August of 01. However, I think there's going to be some positive things come out of it, but it's not going to come without some sacrifice, some challenges, and some significant changes. But as Dave said, when we come out of this, I think we will be stronger, but we're going to have to, when things shake out, there are going to be some people that are in a bad way, and we're going to have to prop up and help them out as much as we can. So I want to thank all 4 of you and, of course, city staff for the hard work you do. Communicate with one or all of you at least every day, along with our city manager and a bunch of other folks, to stay on top of this crisis, to get us through it and be as safe as possible, reopen as fast as possible, but not be reckless about it. Be incremental, be strategic, and recognize biology is not politics. This is not a First Amendment thing. This is biology. This virus does not care about your politics. It doesn't matter where you live, or it doesn't matter what country you're in. It will get you if you're not smart about it. So we don't go out there and get close to each other and congregate just to prove some point. That is going to get people killed. We do not do that. We do smart, we strategic, and we do this the right way. So that being said, anything further? All right. At this time, then, we will go ahead and thank everybody who participated and stuck it through with us to the end of this meeting, and we need to re-adjourn to closed session. We'll see you guys there. Thank you.